A final key term for population education is integration. Some scholars or population educators believe that population education programs, particularly in schools that are moving towards being student-centered, have a focus on other educations. They build upon what other disciplines are contributing. For example, developmental education and environmental education. So if the base is already there and the population education content only builds on that, it makes integration way simpler and easier. They argue that the goals and objectives of population education should reflect these broader frameworks and might be appropriately and meaningfully integrated into them. So the goals and objectives of education that focuses on population studies needs to be a broad framework. Because the field is relatively new, you cannot have very specific aims and objectives. Even the goals won't work if they are absolutely specific. Broad-based frameworks tend to work much better in this new content. Before passing on to the question of integration, it seems necessary to indicate briefly the goals of both population education and other educational programs which are in some way related to population education. In other words, when we do a comparison of population education and related disciplines, and we see the commonality between those two, and we work on the commonality, population education can be taught in a much easier format. This brings us to the end of this module, and I strongly hope that you have gained much and you at least understand why population education is a trend and an issue today in contemporary education settings, and why it is important for our students to clearly understand what this population education will mean for them 5, 8, and 10 years down the line.